Milo leaned back in the pilot's seat of his old freighter, the Skipper. Staring at the dull blue glow of the distant moon, Varel 9, the ship hummed softly. Its engines tired but still holding together. He had spent years flying through forgotten corners of space, picking up broken parts, lost drones, and anything people left behind. But this job was different. A distress beacon had pulled him here. The signal was weak, full of static, but still human. Old human may be older than any beacon still in use. That alone made Milo curious. He didn't believe in ghosts, but something about the message had a strange pull. Beacon repeating. The ship's AI said in a dry voice. Source located. Crash site confirmed. Milo sighed. Let's go have a look. He landed near the edge of a canyon. The sky above Varel 9 was a swirl of purple and black clouds. Cold winds blew over him. Sharp rocks and cracked soil. The crash site lay a head-twisted metal, black and scorched, half buried in dust. The ship wasn't any design he recognized. It looked too smooth, too strange. Like it didn't belong in this part of the galaxy. He stepped out, wearing a simple pressure suit, helmet lights flickering as he moved. The air was too thin to breathe. But the readings were safe otherwise. He walked slowly toward the wreckage, his boots crunching on loose stone. Inside the broken ship, everything was silent. He moved past melted walls and shattered control panels, scanning for life. Most of the rooms were empty, burned, but then he heard something soft, like a breath. He followed the sound and opened a half-jammed door with effort. There, sitting on the floor, was a young woman. She looked up slowly as his light touched her face. Pale skin, long, dark hair that fell across her shoulders. Her eyes were a deep silver. Strange and calm, she wore a torn silver robe, unlike any uniform Milo had seen before. He froze. She was alive. Hey, he said through the speaker. Can you hear me? Are you hurt? She didn't answer at first. Her gaze studied him, cautious, quiet. Then she whispered, her voice soft and clear. Don't let them find me. Milo blinked. Who's coming? She shook her head slowly. They watch, even now. He stepped closer, keeping his hands open and calm. My name is Milo. I'm here to help. I got your beacon. She looked around as if trying to remember something. Then she looked back at him. I don't know my name. He knelt down. Can you walk? She nodded. He helped her to her feet. Her legs were weak, but she stayed standing. Milo looked around once more. Nothing else moved inside the wreck. Let's get out of here, he said. Back on the Skipper. Milo gave her water and wrapped her in a blanket. She didn't say much, just sat near the window, staring out at the stars. Her eyes followed them, like she recognized each one. The ship lifted off, heading away from VIRL-9. Milo ran a scan. Vitals are stable, he muttered. But your DNA reads different. You're human. But something strange. She didn't answer. He looked at her again. How long were you down there? She was quiet for a while. Then she spoke. Slowly, a long time. Long enough to forget what year it is. Milo frowned. He had rescued people before, miners, lost traders, even soldiers. But she didn't feel like any of them. She seemed outside of time. What's the last thing you remember? He asked. She looked at him with calm, unreadable eyes. A voice told me to run, she said, and then fire. Milo nodded. He wouldn't press further. Later that night, as the ship floated quietly through the stars, Milo sat in the cockpit, reviewing the logs. He couldn't find any record of the wrecked ship's design. No ID code, no origin. Nothing in any database. It was like the ship had never existed. He checked the beacon logs again. It used old Terran frequencies. Very old. The kind used in the early days of the first space war over 80 years ago. That made no sense. He glanced over at the girl. She was asleep now, curled in a corner with the blanket pulled tight, peaceful, still. The AI pinged suddenly. Unusual energy detected. It said, Source, passenger. Milo blinked. What kind of energy? Quantum resonance. Non-standard. Signature, similar to historical patterns. What do you mean, historical? matching fragments found in data recovered from the Battle of Soul Break, 80 years ago. Milo sat still. That battle had ended the war against the Zarn Empire. Millions had died. But no one had survived on the Soul Break front. Certainly no one from that era was still alive. He turned to look at her again. Who was she, and what had she meant by "don't let them find me"? The stars outside flickered like quiet eyes, watching. The next day, Milo sat in the small kitchen area of the skipper, sipping cold tea and reading the ship's scan reports again. But no matter how many times he looked, the data didn't change. The girl who still didn't know her name had something inside her, something old, something powerful. The AI kept calling it a quantum echo. Whatever it wasn't normal, and it wasn't safe. She walked into the room, quiet as a shadow. She had cleaned up, wearing one of Milo's spare jackets. It was too big on her, but she didn't seem to mind. Her silver eyes watched him closely. "Morning," Milo said, trying to sound relaxed. She nodded. "The stars are wrong." Milo raised an eyebrow. "Wrong?" She pointed toward the window. "That cluster. It was different before. Brighter. It used to have 4 suns. Now there are only 2. Milo stared at her. "That system lost 2 suns in the last 50 years. Supernovae." "How do you know that?" She tilted her head slightly. "I remember seeing it as a child." "That's impossible," Milo said. "No one alive could have seen it that way unless you're older than you look." She gave him a small, tired smile but didn't speak. Later, Milo ran her voice through the translator system, comparing her earlier words. The strange language she had spoken when he first found her. It matched no known dialect in the galactic registry. But then the AI gave him a result that chilled him. Language origin, Terran prototype code, era, pre-Zarn war, status, obsolete, erased from standard memory banks. That meant she had spoken a human language that no one had used in nearly a century, a language that had been deleted on purpose. But why? He went to find her again. She was in the engine room, sitting on the floor, staring at the pipes and wires like they were alive. "You're not from this time, are you?" he asked. She looked at him but said nothing. "You're human." Milo continued, "But you don't belong in this century. That ship you were on, it wasn't built by anyone I've ever heard of. And that beacon, it used war codes that haven't been touched in 80 years. I was asleep." She finally said, "For a very long time." "Asleep?" She nodded. "Frozen? Hiding? From what?" She looked away. "From the ones who made me." Milo felt cold. "You were made." She didn't answer. That night, Milo had a dream. He stood in a dark room filled with mirrors. Each mirror showed stars, battles, strange machines. In one, he saw her wearing a glowing white suit, leading a group of people with shining eyes. In another, she stood alone, speaking to a black tower in space. Then the mirrors shattered, and a voice whispered, "They remember her, and they want her back." Milo woke up in sweat. The ship was quiet, too quiet. He walked to the bridge. The girl stood there, staring at the controls. "I had to check the course," she said calmly. Milo blinked. "How do you even know how to use that system?" "I don't," she said. "But my hands do." Milo frowned. "That's not possible." She turned to him. "Nothing about me is possible." Suddenly, alarms blared. "Warning, object detected." No signal, no heat, no ID. A dark ship appeared behind them on the sensors. No lights, no radio. Just watching. Milo sat in the pilot's seat. Where did that thing come from? The AI spoke. "A known vessel. Composition, obsidian composite. Movement, silent pursuit. Silent pursuit." Milo repeated. "Is it following us?" "Yes," the AI said. Milo turned to the girl. "Do you know this ship?" She looked pale now. "They found me." "Who?" "The ones who erased us." Before Milo could ask more, the ship shook. A silent pulse hit them, no sound, but the lights flickered. Something had scanned them, hard. "We need to run," she said. Milo didn't hesitate. He slammed the controls, and the skipper jumped into warp. As they sped through the stars, he looked back at her. "Where do we go?" She stared at the screen and spoke numbers, coordinates. The AI hesitated. These coordinates do not exist. In known charts, enter them anyway, Milo said. Do it. The ship bent through space. Following her path, for a moment, it felt like everything twisted time, stars, even their thoughts. But then, they came out. Ahead was a planet made of gray ice, orbiting a dying sun. Floating above it was a station old, broken, hidden in the shadow of a moon. It didn't appear on any map. Milo stared. What is that? She smiled softly. Home. The hidden station floated above the icy planet like a ghost. Its metal body was old and rusted. Its lights long dead. No signal came from it, no power, no life. But the girl still without a name said only one word when she saw it. Sanctuary. Milo didn't know what to believe anymore. Every moment with her brought more questions. The frozen moon. Its long arms were broken. The outer walls were scratched and dark. No light blinked, no signal called out. Most people would pass it without ever seeing it. But the girl saw it. This place was once full of voices, she whispered. Milo guided the skipper closer. The station didn't respond to any docking request. The AI warned, no power detected, no life signs, structure unstable. But as soon as they got within 100 meters, something strange happened. The lights on the station blinked once, then again. Then a soft blue beam reached. Inside the station, everything was quiet. The hallway lights flickered dimly as Milo and the girl stepped off the skipper. The air was cold. Dust floated in the light like tiny stars. Most of the walls were old and scratched, but the design was human, just from a time long past. This place had been left behind. The girl walked slowly, her hand brushing the wall. She moved like someone remembering a dream. I've been here before, she said softly. Milo followed her, confused but alert. This place doesn't show up in any records. It's like it was erased. She nodded. They erased a lot of things. They reached a wide chamber. It looked like a command room. A large screen sat at the front, covered in cracks. Chairs lined the floor, many broken or knocked over. Dust covered everything. Nothing moved. Then suddenly, a soft click echoed from above. A red light blinked in the corner of the room. A voice, robotic and calm, spoke. Welcome back, Operator Prime. Milo spun around. Who said that? The screen turned on fuzzy at first, then clear. It showed an old human military logo, one that hadn't been used in nearly a century. Voice pattern confirmed. Operator Prime. Identity match, 97%. The girl didn't look surprised. Operator Prime? Milo asked. She nodded. That was my role here. Long ago. System awakening. The voice continued. Power at 14%. Core functions online. Memory data protected. Milo looked at the screen. Who are you? I am Station Mine 03K, created under Project Echo Seed. Status: dormant for 84 years. Awaiting return of Operator Prime. Milo turned to her, stunned. What is Project Echo Seed? She closed her eyes for a moment. Then she spoke, slow and steady. A long time ago, before the war ended, Earth knew it might lose. So a secret program was created. They chose a few people, not soldiers, not leaders, but thinkers, dreamers. Their memories and minds were copied, stored in quantum data, sent far into space, hidden inside stations like this one. Milo was silent. You were one of them. I was more. She said, I didn't just hold memories. I carried something else, a signal, a warning. Milo looked confused. Why hide you like this? Because I wasn't meant to live, she said quietly. I was meant to wait. The station AI spoke again. Alert, pursuer detected, enemy ship entering. Range, no ID, no communication. Same vessel as previous encounter. Milo tensed. It followed us here. Recommend lockdown protocol. Initiate defense systems. Do it, the girl said firmly. Milo stared at her. She stood tall now, like someone who remembered who she was. The shy, quiet girl was gone. Now, she looked calm, ready. The lights in the station turned red. Shields hummed. Heavy doors sealed behind them. Defense grid at 30%. Weapons online. Hull strength low. Enemy ship observing. No fire yet. Milo stepped closer to the screen. Why hasn't it attacked? The girl answered. Because it doesn't want to destroy me. It wants to bring me back. Back where? She looked at him. To the ones who stole everything. She touched the screen. A hidden panel opened. With a soft hiss, inside was a glowing metal cube, pulsing with light, echo core. Contained within, final signal, full data of Operator Prime's mission. She turned to Milo. This is what they're after. He stepped back. Then we destroy it. No. She said gently, it's more than a message. It's hope. For Earth. For the next war. Milo frowned. I thought the war was over. It wasn't, she said. It only paused. They're coming back. The lights flashed again. The station shook. Warning. Obsidian ship approaching. Docking arms detected. They intend to board. Milo reached for his sidearm. We need to leave. She looked at the screen. I can stop them, but not from the ship. I need to stay here. What? Milo shook his head. No, I'm not leaving you here. If they capture me, everything is lost, she said calmly. But if I stay, I can use the core. I can send it forward to someone who can finish what I started. Milo stared at her. You're talking like this is goodbye. She smiled. Maybe it is. He clenched his fists. At least tell me your name. She paused, then whispered, it was Aaron. A long time ago, the name felt soft in the air, like a memory returning. Aaron, he repeated. She turned and placed the core into a chamber. The station AI responded, core locked, ready for long-range data jump. Milo's voice shook. Don't do this. We can run. We've done it before. She stepped close to him, placed her hand on his chest. I'm not afraid anymore. She said, you gave me that. The ship rocked again. Alarms wailed. She stepped back. Milo's voice broke. Will I see you again? Aaron didn't answer right away. Then she gave a soft smile. I like how you asked that. Before he could speak again. A door sealed between them. The platform beneath him moved, pulling him back toward the skipper. He banged on the glass, shouting her name. She stood still, eyes bright. The last thing he saw before the doors closed was her raising her hand and smiling. Milo sat in the pilot's seat of the skipper, fists clenched, eyes locked on the sealed airlock behind him. The blast doors had shut the moment Aaron activated the emergency launch system. He hadn't chosen to leave. She had made the choice for. Both of them. The ship shook as it pulled away from the station. The engines kicked into auto drive. A countdown flashed on the screen. Jump in 60 seconds. No, Milo said, standing. Cancel the jump. Go back. The AI replied, jump already. In motion. Manual override locked by Operator Prime. He slammed his fist against the control panel. She's still in there. We can't just leave. Survival protocol activated. Enemy vessel approaching. Distance closing. Speed increasing. Milo looked out the window. The black obsidian ship hovered near the station now, smooth, silent, and deadly. It had no windows, no engines, no visible weapons, but it was alive. It pulsed with strange energy. He stared at the station one last time. Tiny flashes of red and blue blinked along its surface. Aaron had activated the defense systems, alone. Then, in the middle of the stars, the jump drive engaged. The skipper vanished into light. The jump lasted less than a minute, but it felt like falling through a dream. When the stars returned, they were unfamiliar. Milo checked the coordinates. They didn't exist in any database. Empty space. No planets nearby, no stations, just silence. And yet, floating in the dark, a small drone blinked. It was waiting. The ship's AI scanned it. Signal. Match. Message from Operator Prime. Playing now. Milo's heart jumped. The screen lit up. Aaron appeared, her face calm and soft. Behind her was the station, still dark but alive. Milo, if you're seeing this, I made the jump successful. I sent the echo core forward. You have it now. You're the last thread. She paused, her voice quiet. They're inside the station now. I can slow them down. But I can't win. That was never my job. My job was to remember, to carry the spark. and to pass it to someone who could carry it farther. Milo watched, silent. The core holds everything: warnings, plans, even the truth about what the Zarn really are. Earth never knew the full story. Now, you do. You must take it to the old relay on Yantar 4. It still listens. It can send the message to all human colonies. She smiled, tired but peaceful. I don't regret staying, because I remember who I was, and I remembered you. She looked straight at the screen. You asked me once if you'd see me again. This is my answer. She gave a soft, sad smile. Just smile, Milo. The message ended. The screen turned dark. Milo sat still for a long time. Then, slowly, he nodded. I'll finish it, he said. You gave me the spark. I won't waste it. 2 days later, the skipper landed on the cold surface of Yantar 4. The planet was dead. Once a mining colony, now just rocks and storms. But deep underground, buried in metal and ice, was an old communications relay silent for years. Milo carried the echo core down alone. The wind howled through the tunnels as he walked. The elevator creaked. Lights flickered above. He followed the map Aaron had left behind, every step heavy, every breath tight. He found the core port behind a rusted panel. It was waiting. He slid the echo core into place. A soft hum filled the room. Lights came on. Screens flickered. The relay began to awaken. New message detected. Said a voice. Source, Operator Prime. Security code valid. Transmitting to all colonies. Message will repeat every 4 hours. Milo stepped back. On the screen, Aaron's message played. A message of warning, of history, of truth. She spoke of the war, of the lies, of the hidden dangers still moving in the dark. And she told humanity to prepare. To remember. To hope. Back on the skipper. Milo sat in silence. He looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, Aaron's station was likely gone. Maybe destroyed. Maybe floating quietly in the dark. He would never know for sure. But her words lived on, and so did her smile. Years passed. The war that never truly ended finally returned. But this time, Earth and its colonies were not surprised. They were ready. Thanks to the message Aaron left behind, transmitted from Yantar 4 and echoed across them. Stars, humanity, remember the truth. They saw through the silence. They saw the enemy coming in new shapes, under new names, and they stood together. Some call it the Second Spark War. Others call it the Awakening. But to Milo, it was just the promise he kept. He had delivered the Echo Core. He had finished what Aaron began. Now, Milo was older. His hair had silver in it, his hands slower. But the skipper still flew. Though it creaked louder now, and his lights were dimmer, he still wandered the edges of space, where strange stars burned and black things moved in the dark. People called him a legend. The man who outran the silent ships, the last witness of the first echo, the pilot who flew with a ghost. But Milo never spoke much about Aaron, not to anyone. He kept her memory close, quiet, like a fire he didn't want to lose. Sometimes, when he was alone in the cockpit, he would replay her message, not the public one, but the one she had left just for him. You asked me once if you'd see me again. This is my answer. Just smile, Milo. He never got tired of hearing it. One night, in a part of space with no name, the skipper passed a dead system. The stars here were pale. No ships came this way anymore. It was quiet. To quiet. The ship's AI pinged. Unusual signal detected. Milo leaned forward. Source? Encrypted channel. Pattern match. Operator Prime. He froze. Play it. Static filled the speakers. Then a soft voice came through. Skipper, do you copy? Milo's heart skipped. He knew that voice. He turned up the volume. This is Aaron. I repeat, this is Aaron. He couldn't breathe. Aaron, he whispered. The AI responded. Message is real. Origin unknown. Very distant, bouncing through multiple channels. Age of signal. Unknown. More static. Then her voice again, soft and tired. But still her. I don't know where I am. The station is gone. But I held on. Part of me stayed. Part of me waited. Tears filled Milo's eyes. If you're still out there, if you still fly the old ship, know this. You were the best part of my story. The message cut off. Silence returned. Milo stared at the screen for a long time. Then the AI spoke. Do you wish to trace the signal? He smiled for the first time in a long time. Yes, he said. Plot a course. The skipper turned its nose toward the deep unknown. The engines rumbled. The stars shifted. Milo leaned back in his chair and let the stars guide him once more. This time, he wasn't chasing a memory. This time, he was following her voice, and somewhere, far beyond space and time, maybe just maybe she was waiting. The HFY story. I asked, will I see you again? She just smiled.